Welcome to Unleashed Opinion, boldly challenging the powers that be while keeping liberals in their place with conservative ideals and common sense solutions.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Unleashed Opinion. We're live and worldwide once again.
And we forgot to turn the television on. Hey, look at that.
There it is.
Eddie and Bob is out there already. Dave,
Wow.
what up?
Super.
Fantastic. They
Awesome.
love us. Send us money.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm on a fixed income. Broke as hell.
We're all on a fixed income.
Oh, okay.
chucklehead.
All right. Maybe I can get free money from the government.
Well, that depends on who you ask on this, if that's going to work
true.
out or not.
That's true.
Hey, big thank you out to our service members out there keeping us free and safe, doing what they do, putting their lives and their families' lives on hold.
God bless them all, man.
You guys are awesome.
Steve got a little tongue-tied.
A little bit.
It's that toxic masculinity of that goat.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, big thanks to John for putting this all together for us and letting us invade his place here and do what we do.
That's right. Thank you out there to all of our law enforcement personnel, first responders. You guys do a fantastic job. Everybody in the nurses industry, what you guys do is also fantastic. All the stuff you have to put up with. Everybody that works in the nursing homes and everybody in the Illinois Department of Corrections, our brothers and sisters. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, big thank you out to our listeners who out there texting us, doing what you do during the show and sending us text messages throughout the week and giving us some ideas on what to talk about. It's pretty awesome.
How about that special breed of different people out there on Route 125?
They're out there this evening.
Hello, fellas.
I think Fulton County is going to check in this evening, too.
Oh, my goodness.
All righty.
Danger.
What do we got?
Well, I got something positive here, and if they're listening tonight, this goes out to Bob and Brent, the B&B connection, the boob connection, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. They'll really like this because it's probably really near and dear to their heart. The United States Navy Seabees are celebrating their 77th birthday today.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. The Seabees, or the U.S. Naval Construction Battalions, were founded in 1942 when then Rear Admiral Ben Morrell saw a need for militarized construction force. Morrell was chief of the Bureau of Yards and Docks at the time. While the Seabees' jobs entails construction, they also can be called on to fight, either accompanying another branch or in the defense of their construction projects in the field. Today there are 2 naval construction groups, 2 construction battalion maintenance units, 4 naval construction regiments, 2 underwater construction teams, and 11 naval construction teams. Their nickname Seabees comes from the first initials of their formal name, Construction Battalions, or C&B. Naval Construction Group 1 is based at the Naval Base in Ventura County in Port Wayne, California, however you pronounce that. So a happy birthday to the U.S. Navy Seabees.
All righty.
Fantastic.
All righty. There's a 10-year-old young man by the name of Zachariah Cartledge in Florida. When he's out there for the fallen police officers, he's running 150 miles, I believe it is.
Whoa. And
he's asking for donations for $1 for each mile. At the beginning of the year, Zachariah asked people to prayerfully consider supporting his cause. His goal was to raise $100 for each fallen officer. The total was $15,000. He's raised over $20,000 as of Monday. So we got a little video of this kid. He's very well spoken. Let's take a look at this thing.
One 10-year-old boy is taking his appreciation for law enforcement to the next level by pledging to honor those who lost their lives in the line of duty. Zachariah Cartledge has pledged to run 150 miles this year for every one of the 150 officers who lost their lives in 2018. He also hopes to raise $100 for each fallen officer to give a total of $15,000 to the Tunnel for Towers Foundation.
Wow.
And that's not all. When Zachariah heard of the stories of officers killed in this year, 2019, he wanted to remember them as well, so he is also running a separate mile for them while carrying, as you can see right there, the blue line flag. Join us right now from Orlando, Florida. He is 10-year-old Zachariah Cartledge. Zachariah, good morning to you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you, young man. Where'd you get this idea?
So the idea to start running for police officers started about 2 years back when I ran in the Tunnel to Towers 5K in Orlando. And during the opening ceremony, I saw all these police officers and firefighters dressed in full gear. And I thought that was really cool, but I thought they were just going to be for the opening ceremony. But once I started running, they were actually running with me in full gear. And that really inspired me to look up more about the foundation. And when I found out they honor police officers and firefighters, about 1.5 years later, I just really wanted to honor police officers because they do so much for us in the community. And the hate that they're giving is just really unacceptable because they do so much for us. And when I hear an officer pass away, it just breaks my heart.
Yeah, no kidding. It is terrible. And so there we see you running with the blue line flag at one of your events. So far, you've raised how much money?
So far, I've raised about $7,000 for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Wow. All right. And I know that people are looking in right now, Zachariah, and they're thinking, oh, I would love to help him. Your goal is $15,000, so you got to double what you've got right now. Anybody interested in helping this man from Florida, go to our website, foxandfriends.com, and then we will click through to your website where people can actually donate to Tunnels for Towers. Explain, Zachariah, though, for our audience, why the connection to law enforcement?
Because they do so much for us in the community. My best friend's dad, Officer George, is one of my biggest inspirations. Every day I would see him going out on his cruiser, and it would really inspire me. But just officers do so much for us, and the hate that they're giving is just really sad because they do so much for us. They're not bad people.
Yeah.
So much people think they're just trying to just get people, and they think no, they're amazing people in the community, and they do so much for us. And I don't know lots of people that can take a bullet for anybody they don't know in the community, and it's just an amazing thing. So I really wanted to honor them.
It sounds like you're impacting.
What a testament that is.
No kidding. A very well-spoken young man at 10 years old.
Absolutely. You got to give that kid some credit. I'll tell you who else you have to give credit to is his parents.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
They've raised an outstanding young man.
Nice lady. Wanda Kleinlein is out there watching us.
Well,
Dan Lenny.
we got
What
Scott
else?
Zimmerman, Eddie Durrell, David Holtz, Brett, Caleb Wombles. All right.
Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in.
Absolutely.
We got boys saved from a ski lift here. A group of teenagers came to the rescue of an 8-year-old boy who nearly fell from a chairlift onto the hard snow during a heart-stopping ordeal at the Vancouver Ski Resort. The 8-year-old slipped and was left grasping and dangling from the side of a Grouse Mountain chairlift more than 25 feet in the air while he held on to his father for dear life. One of the teenagers, 14-year-old James McDonald, told the station he didn't think the boy would keep a grip for very long, so he asked a nearby man to get some orange netting. Usually reserved to mark where the skiing boundaries are, he said he wanted to use the netting to catch the boy in case he fell. Fantastic. He was starting to flail about and get extremely panicky. McDonald said his friends, Gabriel Nielsen, 12-year-old Josh Ravensberger, had just finished skiing down the mountain when they began to offer some help along with a woman and a man in the area. Nielsen attempted to calm the boy while Ravensbergen told CNN he stripped off some padding from a pole and inserted it into the netting to give some more cushion. CNN reported that once the makeshift net was completed, Nielsen calmly advised the boy to remove his skis. He then told the father to release the grip, holding the young child. The father released his grip, and the boy dropped safely into the padding. The group of roughly 10 people who held up the net cheered loudly after saving the boy's life. Fantastic.
That is very good.
Absolutely
very
fantastic.
Good. So they put their head together and made a makeshift.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do if you just,
think a little bit.
I even surprise myself from time to time. It's not very often, but it happens occasionally.
Oh, boy.
You know how it goes.
Yes, I do. Did you hear about the Moose Lodge in Hopewell, Iowa, or Virginia, I'm sorry. The Moose Lodge caught fire, and it appeared like the building was going to be a complete loss, but there was some flags out in front of the building, and the moose flag had already apparently caught fire or something happened to it. It was coming down, but a couple firefighters went up and saved the American flag. We got a little video of that. Let's take a look at that.
Awesome sauce.
To be said for this kind of violence happening all the time. There's another story. I don't have it pulled up. Apparently, that 81-year-old pothead got attacked in New Jersey. They arrested the people who attacked him too. So I have to to wonder at a certain point, the media can compile all of these and say, we have a serious fucking problem with people beating on random people. Right? The media wants to go all crazy.
Good, John. So, they determined the building was going to be a complete loss, but they decided they were going to take a minute and save the American flag.
That's fantastic.
That's
what
pretty good.
you should do.
That's pretty good.
That's very awesome.
That's
It's
pretty
another
good.
reason we love our firefighters, man.
You betcha.
They do a great job. I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Now, we have a constitution, right?
Yes.
Brought forth by our founding fathers and all those who fought for it. And we have a First Amendment right.
Yes, we
That's
do.
saying we have a right to free speech.
Right.
And we have rights to a lot of other stuff, but it says we have a right to free speech. So why in the hell does President Trump have to sign an executive order mandating colleges and universities to take steps to guarantee free speech to attain federal research grants?
Well, you know what? There's a bunch of stupid people out there on the left coast, especially at UC Berkeley.
You're kidding.
And you've seen it with Milo Yiannopoulos and Ann Coulter when they were
Ben Shapiro,
when these people were not allowed to speak out there, and even if they were going to get close to being able to speak, they tore the place up. It's unbelievable. They preach free speech out there, but they're really not all about it.
Only when it's their speech.
Only when it's their speech.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is. Because if you want free, because whether you agree with the free speech or not, it's still out there for everybody.
Absolutely. I don't care if you're conservative, you're middle, you're liberal. It doesn't matter. You have a right to speak, and nobody should be coming up and throwing fits or try to get you barred from the frickin' place. So you can say what you have to say. That's what our Constitution guarantees. Now, we really don't like liberal talk, but you know what? They've got a right to speak.
As much as we
So
do.
I don't understand why he's got to do this, but it goes on to say we reject oppressive speech code, censorship, political correctness, and every other attempt by the hard left. Let's make that clear. The hard left to stop people from challenging ridiculous and dangerous ideas. These ideas are dangerous, Trump said, and said we believe in free speech, including online and including on campus. Today, I'm proud to announce that I will be very soon signing an executive order requiring colleges and universities to support free speech if they want federal research grants. I agree with him 100% on this.
But it should never have to get to
No,
this
it
point.
shouldn't. Nobody should be silenced unless, they're going out there spewing hate and stuff like that. We understand that. Nobody wants to listen to all that hokey crap, but said the announcement came after he brought Hayden Williams on stage at the Conservative Political Action Conference. He's a conservative activist who was punched in the face at the University of California at Berkeley last month while assisting the university's chapter of the right-wing group Turning Point USA. Trump threatened that refusing to abide by the executive order would impose a heavy cost on their budgets. Now, I think not only are colleges' enrollments declining because people are tired of spending the amount of money that they have to spend to get a degree that they normally don't even end up using, but it's also stuff like this.
Absolutely, because you're being indoctrinated the way the college wants you to think.
Absolutely. I mean, Western Illinois University just closed 2 more buildings. They're down to approximately 6,500 students from the last I heard. This has got to stop. People have a right to assemble. They have a right to free speech, whether you agree with it or not.
Exactly. We got a little video of that guy you're talking about at Berkeley that got smacked from Turning Point USA. Let's take a quick look at that because this guy gets smacked pretty good.
A man who was sucker punched on the UC Berkeley campus while promoting a conservative youth organization. The man in black is the suspect UC Berkeley police are looking for tonight. The man on the receiving end is Hayden Williams from conservative group
Watch
Turning
this.
Point USA. He appeared on Fox News
Bam.
tonight with a black eye.
Some students took offense to our sign that we had that said, hate crime hoaxes hurt real victims. And this person claimed we were promoting violence on campus and proceeded to take his aggression out on us.
Hate crime hoaxes, a reference to the Jussie
Okay, that's good,
Smollett
John.
case. Tonight
And he's right. These hate crime hoaxes, you look at, what's his name, Jussie Smollett,
Yeah.
and then we got another article here about a gal who was supposedly giving some money to a panhandler in Baltimore, and it turns out her husband and stepdaughter end up killing her, who they're under arrest now. But you know what? He's exactly right. These false claims of hate crimes is hurting all the legitimate hate crimes that are out there.
Absolutely. You know, this crap. They actually finally did arrest this guy.
Yeah,
if I remember right. So
yeah,
fantastic for that. But yeah, this crap's got to stop. You know, it's like Tim is saying, one of our buddies here, that you know, whether you're for liberalism or whether you're for conservatism, or you know, in between being a moderate, you know, it's time to try and step aside, you know, from being butthurt all the time and try to make good conversation and maybe try to work some things out, you know, instead of spewing all the hate like everybody does. And we're as guilty as anybody else in the past of doing this. But, you know, I think it's time for people to start to have a little bit of brain power and using it correctly.
That's right. The 28-year-old man was arrested on a felony warrant in Berkeley after a search for the person who assaulted a conservative man on UC Berkeley campus. Zachariah Greenberg was arrested Friday and is held in the Alameda County Jail for the alleged or suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon, which I didn't see that. But suspicion, I think we can rule suspicion out after watching the video. So, you know, that's pretty sad that a person can't speak out. Now, I've got another article here.
You're kidding.
Related to free speech.
You've got like 3 weeks worth of articles over there.
Yes, I do. This is at Newport Mesa Unified School District where's that? Anyway, school officials are expressing concern after a group of Newport Beach High School students made a swastika and saluted Hitler at an off-campus party and then posted the photos on social media. Newport Mesa Unified School District President says the district had a crisis management meeting Sunday to address the situation. We have a concern both for the physical health of students who are underage drinking as well as the mental health of our students and the friends that thought it was okay to do this. District officials say they are trying to figure out what, if any, disciplinary action can be taken. Well, you know, this still falls under free speech, whether you agree with it or not.
Sure.
It was stupid. It's uncalled for. You still have the same right as you and I do. But you know what? With freedom comes responsibility. So if you're going to do something stupid,
Whoa. You said the R word, bud.
Responsibility?
Yeah, responsibility. That's a word a lot of people are forgotten about anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're going to do something like that and then be stupid enough to post it on social media, come on.
Well, there's the mindset of that type of individual.
Yeah, well.
David Holt says this is MAGA country. Said no one in Chicago ever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then going back to the Jesse Smollett thing, which, when this news first came out, and then he said these people were saying MAGA country and with a noose and then bleach, and you're like, Chicago's a lot of things, but MAGA country's not one of them.
No. Jeremy Hoare's out there watching. What up?
Hey, super. Hey, you got Deborah Holmes Smith out there, too.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
She just can't get enough of you.
Yeah, I think she's probably bored.
Oh, my gosh. Let's go to everybody's favorite darling these days.
Uh-oh.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which I even think her party's not too well pleased with her. But anyway, can you believe that her mom left New York to escape Democrats' high taxes?
Why wouldn't you? I mean, really, it's ridiculous.
It is. Blanca Ocasio-Cortez, the mother of socialist rep Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has fled the state of New York and moved to Florida because she was no longer able to afford the Democrat state's high taxes. She had an interview with the Daily Mail and reported that her mom moved into an out-of-the-way lakefront community shortly before AOC filed her candidacy to become the youngest woman ever in Congress. She says, I was cleaning houses in the morning, working as a secretary at a hospital in the afternoon. I was working from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. Well, kudos to her. She said she's a lifelong Democrat and prayed that things would work out for her daughter, or for everyone, all of her kids. After the children graduated from college, she figured it was time for me to move to Florida. She goes, I lived in New York area for most of my life, but I started being able to afford it. Imagine that. She goes, I was paying $10,000 a year in real estate taxes up north.
Holy crap.
And she goes, I'm paying $600 a year in Florida. She goes,
Big difference.
It's stress-free down here.
No kidding.
And why wouldn't it be? Now, she insists that her daughter was not a socialist, stressing what she claims is a clear distinction between being a socialist and being a democratic socialist. I don't know what much difference there is, but she thinks there was. She goes, she wasn't raised to be a socialist. She goes, that's not how Puerto Ricans are. That's not what we do. Socialists are in Cuba or Venezuela. She's got that right. But anyway, the Daily Mail's interview with Blanca came at approximately the same time multiple bombshell corruption allegations surfaced involving her daughter.
Uh-oh.
And don't you have something
I do.
about that?
Go ahead.
It just says Washington Examiner reported Monday that 2 political action committees founded by AOC's top aide funneled over $1 million in political donations into 2 of his own private companies, according to a complaint filed with the Federal Election Commissions on Monday. She's getting an early start.
Oh, boy, the corruption she's barely got her foot in the door and she's already corrupt. At least her top aide is, and
Yeah.
she's going to get some cash out of this somewhere along the line. Yeah,
Probably. Zimmerman says she probably just left to get away from her daughter.
yeah, that'd be a good idea too. Hey, Stoker says responsibility is dead just like respect.
Well, there's
And
no
that's-
doubt about that.
No kidding. But this guy set up brand new Congress PACs to collect bundled donations for the newbie politicians, including Miss Cortez. Then he diverted more than $1 million to 2 of his companies that did campaign work, skirting reporting requirements. These are not minor technical violations. We're talking about real money here, said Tom Anderson, director of the NLPC's Government Integrity Project. In all my years of studying FEC reports, I've never seen a more ambitious operation to circumvent reporting requirements. Well, she is new on the block, and she, like she told everybody the other day, she's boss. So,
Yeah, boss. Hello, boss. I'm the boss.
yeah. So, and you've seen it time and again. You get somebody that knew that goes to Washington, and they're not there very long, and they start getting sticky fingers because the bottom line is you got to vote certain ways, or
You don't get nothing done.
nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. So, she barely got her foot in the door, and she's already in a bind. Not only with the party, but with the FEC. So she's way ahead of her time already.
Well, a couple of our freshman congresswomen are really not getting along very well. We have this Ilhan Omar from Minnesota. Makes no bones about her allegiance to Islam. She has upset the Democrats again with her latest anti-Semitic slur, so she keeps sticking her foot into the hog trough, which I really wouldn't think she'd want to do as a Muslim. But anyway, accusing those who support Israel of having an allegiance to a foreign country. Now, she just made some anti-Semitic slurs here a while back, which they chastised her for.
I think she made some more, too.
Yeah, apparently she doesn't care, which tells you her resolve of what's going on. She said, we told you last night at least 2 Jewish Democrats have hit back at Omar over the weekend. It says in the House is introducing a resolution to condemn Omar on Wednesday. House Democratic leaders will put a resolution on the floor Wednesday in response to controversial remarks about Israel from Rep. Omar. The resolution, which is still being finalized, comes after a backlash from Jewish lawmakers, and I don't blame them, who accused Omar of anti-Semitism for referring to pro-Israel advocates' allegiance to a foreign country. Speaker Pelosi and top Democrats are confronting a new controversy involving freshman Omar, who has defied her colleagues' calls to apologize for recent comments viewed as anti-Semitic. Now, I tell you what, you got to have some freaking balls as a freshman congresswoman.
Or just be stupid.
That too, or to deny the upper echelon. She says public scrutiny over the Minnesota Democrat. Now, you got to understand, not only is Dearborn, Michigan and surrounding areas like that becoming complete Muslim communities, it's spilled over into Minnesota too, so you guys want to better watch it. Intensified over the weekend as 2 of the House's most senior Democrats condemned Omar's remarks, accusing pro-Israel advocates, again, of allegiance to a foreign country, and the problem threatens to get worse for Democratic leaders, with Omar refusing other lawmakers' pleas to retract her statements. House Appropriations Chairwoman Nita Lowey on Sunday called out Omar's use of offensive, painful stereotypes, leading to an awkward Twitter clash as Omar dug in on her comments and was cheered by some on the left. Well, imagine that. But I tell you what, these freshman congresswomen,
And there's a few of them out there that are really pushing the limit on things.
Yeah, there is.
Well, like Dave Arns says, he says, fine line between bravery and stupidity. And that is very true.
Or a fanatic, absolutely, David Holtz.
Yes. Hey, we got Troy Hamm and Ryan Fawcett out there this evening,
What?
too. All right. Let's see. Where do you want to go to next?
You got most of the paperwork. Go for it.
You know, before I forget, I want to hit these gun laws in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
SB 0107, the assault weapons ban, and you can go online to ilga.gov and look at the printout on this stuff, and it rules out pretty much any semi-automatic weapon that's out there. I once here a couple weeks ago, or almost every week I've been talking about this, I said the Savage 220 and the 212 are on this list. They are not, because they're not semi-automatic weapons. They're bolt action, so I was wrong on that one. But if you look at SB 0107 on ilga.gov, the list goes on and on and on. And if you don't think this is important, I mean, once these people get their foot in the door, it's all downhill from there.
Oh, absolutely.
And not only that, you've got HB 0888, which says that for $2, you got to register all your social media accounts with the state police so they can check it out and make sure you're a outstanding citizen and so on and so forth. So if they're going to check our social media, we're
screwed.
trouble. So, you know, you only got to pay $2 to get your rights violated. Isn't that super? I mean, only in Illinois. What a bunch of morons.
Yeah.
We've also got HB 1467 where you got to register your ammunition, which the seller has to take your FOID card information, has everything, your address and all this stuff, how much ammo you bought, and it's ridiculous. And here again, we compared this to the Aurora shooter the other day, and not one of these laws, not one, would have prevented that.
What? Are you kidding me?
Not one of these laws.
I think those guns would have just got up and shot somebody just because, for the heck of it.
Yeah, well, these liberals seem to think so, and that's not the case. You know, people say, well, why do you need an AR-15? You know what? To be able to defend myself to the best of my ability, that's why I need one.
Absolutely. I think
That's
you
all.
hit the nail on the head
That's
right
all I
there.
got to say. To defend myself, my family, to the best of my ability. Because you know what? These criminals don't give a crap about your assault weapons
What?
ban, your social media thing, registered ammunition, or anything else.
Now, they're not going to go register their weapons.
Yeah, believe it or not.
How dare these criminals?
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. But, you know, and here again, folks, don't take this lightly. These people, you've got a supermajority in the House and I believe in the Senate here in Illinois, and our new governor will sign almost anything Mike Madigan tells him to.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So don't take this for granted. Don't sit back and think that, this will go away like everything else does, because it's not going to.
No.
Here again, once they get their foot in the door, if you think it's going to stop at semi-automatic weapons, you're wrong. They're not going to stop until they confiscate your weapons.
And it's just not in Illinois, folks. I have an article here we were both tagged in by a guy named Josh Stalker? Is that his name? Anyway, Idaho Senate opens the door to gun confiscation orders with SJR 101 vote. The Idaho State Senate stunned the citizens of Idaho yesterday by opening the possibility of Idaho implementing gun confiscation orders, better known as red flag laws. Despite repeated warnings from the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance and gun owners across Idaho, the Idaho State Senate moved forward with all their ill-advised resolutions. States across the country continue to push through red flag gun confiscation orders. Bloomberg and his cronies, with Moms Demand Action, are dumping millions of dollars in the fight to destroy the Second Amendment. Passing red flag laws is just one of their objectives. They are determined to fight gun owners at the congressional and state level. And one of their biggest pet projects is to confiscate firearms from gun owners who they feel are a threat to themselves or others. Okay? Who they feel are a threat to themselves and others. So understand that. These red flag laws may sound great on the surface, but remain unconstitutional and a threat to the American judicial system. Let's recap red flag why their laws are so dangerous. Number one, there's no conviction required to confiscate the gun owner's firearm.
What?
Yeah.
No conviction required to
No
confiscate
conviction
weapons?
required. There's no arrest of the gun owner being accused. There's no indictment of the gun owner being accused. There is usually no notification that the gun owner's firearms are about to be confiscated. The police will show up at your door and confiscate your firearms with no due process. Jeez, does our Constitution say something about due process?
I'm real sure it does. It also said something about owning weapons also.
Holy crap, we got a call.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Steve.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Robin.
How you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Doing fine, Robin. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, especially knowing that I'm being the Army out there has my back. Wait, did I
God
say
dang, Robin, it's nice of you to be nice like that. And I had an insult all prepped for you.
Apparently, you didn't hear the beginning of the show. So.
No, I'm barely have electricity up here in the garden spot of Illinois.
So what you got on your mind?
We need to do a new segment. You need to call every week, and we'll do a segment called "What's Your Beef." So, what's your beef, Bob?
What's my beef, I guess, and I want to try to keep this short because I know I can ramble. Surprise, surprise. Have you guys talked about how some states are trying to circumvent the electoral college system?
Well, I do have a paper on that, but I have not got to it yet.
Well, we talked about Colorado there a couple
Army
weeks
training,
ago.
sir. Go ahead. I got sidetracked.
Yeah, but I mean, why? How is this legal, and how is this goes against the Constitution of the United States? Whole states are trying to circumvent and go around the Constitution of the United States, our whole election process. But yet, Donald Trump is a no-good presidential criminal, and yet the electoral college system that they're trying to circumvent, that's not being demonized. I can't understand that, guys.
No. And we did an article on Colorado where they're talking about sending their electoral votes to the national average for the president. So if you're going to do that, why bother even voting in Colorado? Because you're just going to give it to the majority vote anyway, whether it's it's with the electoral college or the popular vote, because they're talking about giving it to the popular vote. So why bother having an election if you're going to be that stupid to give your votes away?
Well, it goes against this whole, I don't want to blame millennials, it's this whole liberal process that seems to forget why back in what was it, 1780s, if Brett's on the line, he's had 2 or 3 master's degrees, and he could probably say it better than I. But there's a reason why back in the 1700s, they did not want a few populated areas to determine the whole country.
Well, they had a little bit of a foreknowledge about themselves.
Yes, they did. Very intelligent.
So tell me why whole states can try to, basically, to me, it's treasonous to say we're not going to elect people, by the Constitution, but yet Donald Trump gets vilified in the press, and they don't seem to have a problem with the states wanting to basically throw the Constitution in the toilet.
Well, they're pissed because Trump won. They're pissed because Hillary did not win. They won the popular vote, but they didn't win the electoral college. That's what has them pissed off. That's why they want to get rid of the electoral college, because they don't think any Republican out there can win a popular vote. So they think that they're going to have a free run on the presidency or whatever else is out there.
Well, it goes back further than that also. If you go back to 2000, Al Gore lost to George W. because he had the popular vote also. Mm-hmm. And then I think, to the best of my knowledge, it started back then where they started screaming, well, we need to go by the popular vote. And then, of course, 2016 with Hillary, just expanded on that. But these people don't realize that if you go with the popular vote nationwide, we posted something on Facebook today that said, stick with the Electoral College because I don't want New York and California electing my president, because that's all you're going to need.
A guy out here by the
you took the next sentence out of my mouth. You're going to have the left coast, the east coast. I don't know. Has Illinois talked about doing this thing too, guys?
I think so. Yes. Well, I think I saw there was like maybe 10 or 15 states that have talked about it. Bob Smith puts out there that it's another bout of desperation by the left. They're losing their foundation and pulling desperation out to regain it. Yeah, absolutely. And they're still butthurt about the 2016 election.
I'm very proud of Bob. He can put things so much more concisely and smartly than I can.
Yeah, it's amazing coming out of this guy across from me, but anyway.
Yeah. and then to put it on an even more local thing, and the next thing was going to be a quick thing on this home rule. Have you seen where the Chicago Democrats down in Springfield have seen that so many counties down here do not want to follow, their weapons or firearm rules. They want to do home rule. Supposedly they put something out there that's mandating that all counties have to follow, and this does not, pertain to home rule. Home rule cannot be one to circumvent this, anti-gun laws that are coming down.
It's
Have you seen anything on that?
Yes, it's HB 3553. It's got to do with sanctuary counties, which Dave Jamieson was talking about here, about making Cass County a sanctuary county for weapons, which seems kind of amazing that you can have sanctuary cities and sanctuary counties and sanctuary states for illegals, but when it comes to something that's written in the Constitution, then you can't do it? Give me a break, would you? Really?
That's why they're trying to tear the Constitution apart. Absolutely, unequivocally, they're trying to tear the Constitution apart. And unless people like us stick to their frickin' guns and put their frickin' ear to the frickin' frying pan, they're going to run roughshod over everybody.
Because
and that's exactly it, guys. They're tearing it from the top down. They're just tearing it up, and the Second Amendment. I think we've covered this a billion times. Is the only amendment that seems to be negotiable.
Yeah,
and
that depends on who you ask. So yeah, you're right.
And it's horrible. And what's going on in Illinois, and I'll say it again: if you guys are out there, anybody listening, call your politicians, let them know you're against these anti-gun laws that Illinois is trying to pass. Get in touch with them. Tell everybody to call. And it could be hard times, boys, but if we all hang together and try to make our voices heard, I hope we can get through this. You guys have a great show. And, Robin, thanks for being nice tonight.
You're welcome, Bob.
All right. You guys take care.
Okay, we'll see you.
All right. And that was our first ever segment of What's Your Beef, Bob?
Hey, also, too, along with this gun legislation that they're talking about, we have an IGOLD, which is the Illinois Gun Owners Lobby Day in Springfield on March 27th. So if you can possibly get to that, make your voices heard. Also, the two people who are starting these bills is one of her names is Collins, and her number is 773-224-2830, and the other gal's name is Morrison. Her number is 217-782-3650. Give these people a call. Tell them there's a Constitution for a reason, and we plan on keeping it. So. Again, like we talked about before, if you're going to call these people, if you're going to call your representative, be respectful. Even though they work for you and you disagree with them 100%, you will not get anywhere if you start calling these people names and screaming at them. It will not work. They will hang up on you, because that's what I would do. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, I just wanted to tag in on what Bob just said during his call. I substituted for a junior high class yesterday. And we had some downtime. We had gotten done what the teacher wanted to get done. So I like to talk to the kids and see what they think. Well, I asked the kids if they had studied the Electoral College, and they didn't have any idea what I was talking about.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
It's not supposed to be that way.
Because, you have to obviously understand from your point, they're dumbing down our kids.
Well, yeah, they are. They're more worried about the latest edition of Fortnite. That's their thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they are not teaching our children what should be taught in this country about our country from our founding fathers all the way up till now. They want to freaking water everything down. They don't want these kids understanding what's going on, so they can freaking brainwash them as much as possible.
For one thing,
I had one girl ask me, why should she care?
Oh, wow. Did you enlighten her?
I explained. I asked her how she liked having other people tell her what to do, and she said she didn't like that. And I said, well, if you don't learn about the Electoral College, you're going to live it.
Yeah, because it's coming at you fast and hard.
Well, I just wanted to, tag in on Bob's call, because he's right. He's right.
Absolutely.
And
Bob's
Steve,
right.
Yeah, he is. Steve, what do you get when you cross a police officer with a telegram?
Oh, you're going to have to tell me.
A copper wire.
Well, that's
Bye.
it for you. Cut him off.
Hey, Brett, before you go. Oh, he's gone.
Well, God bless the Air Force. I guess I have to be nice to him, too.
Yeah. If you're going to do it with one, you got to do it with all. Hey, we got Steve Kessinger out there. We've got Mark Stevenson, John Chubbuck, Lynn Johnson. We've got all kinds of people tuning in to see
Yeah,
this.
Bob says they are selectively leaving out important American history. There's absolutely.
You know, I thought they taught civics in school at least twice.
Well,
but you know, apparently they don't.
According to Dave Arns, they dropped civics classes a long time ago. Mr. Dalpius taught it at Beardstown. I remember that.
Wow, you know what? They need to go through this and go through the Constitution itself, and and read what the Constitution says. And if you don't understand what the words mean, go ahead and look them up so you can see what this actually means, not what these.
So think on your own.
Think on your own. Yes.
Damn.
Don't trust the media. Don't trust your politicians. Look at this stuff.
Definitely don't trust your politicians.
Yeah, or your media. Look at this stuff. Look it up. If you don't understand what it means, take a look at it, or find somebody that you trust and ask them what they think of it, and go with that. So,
absolutely. I have another gun bill that advances out in New Mexico, but I'm going to get back to an article that Bob touched on here. I think this was an article from last year that I pulled off of the Intellectual Takeout site. It's the title of it is "Why We Are a Republic and Not a Democracy." It's kind of lengthy, but you know what? I'm full of hot air. Hillary Clinton blamed the Electoral College for a stunning defeat in 2016. What happened? She says. Well, you got beat, freak. Some have
you were
claimed
not the best candidate. That's why you got beat.
There's no doubt about that. Some have claimed that the Electoral College is one of the most dangerous institutions in American politics. Well, to the liberal left and the Democrats, absolutely it is. Why? They say the Electoral College system, as opposed to a simple majority vote, distorts the one-person, one-vote principle of democracy because electoral votes are not distributed according to population. To back up their claim, they point out the Electoral College gives, for example, Wyoming citizens disproportionate weight in a presidential election. Put another way, Wyoming, a state with a population of about 600,000, has one member in the House of Representatives and 2 members in the Senate, which gives the citizens of Wyoming 3 electoral votes. California, our most populous state, has more than 39 million people with 55 electoral votes, or approximately 1 vote per 715,000 people. Comparatively, individuals in Wyoming have nearly 4 times the power in Electoral College as Californians. Many people whine that using Electoral College, that should say on the left, that using the Electoral College instead of the popular vote and majority rule is undemocratic. I'd say that they are absolutely right. Not deciding who will be the president by majority rule is not a democracy, but the Founding Fathers went to great lengths to ensure that we were a republic and not a democracy. In fact, the word democracy does not even appear in the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, or any other founding documents. And we have a few quotations expressed by the founders about democracy. In Federalist Paper number 10, James Madison wanted to prevent rule by majority faction, saying measures are too often decided not according to the rules of justice and the rights of the minor party, but by the superior force of an interested and overbearing majority. John Adams warned in a letter, remember, democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes and exhausts and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that did not commit suicide. Wow. That says it all right there. Edmund Randolph, that in tracing these evils to their origin, every man had found it in the turbulence and follies of democracy. Then Chief Justice John Marshall observed, between a balanced republic and a democracy, the difference is like that between order and chaos. So,
you know, majority rule also could be called mob rule.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Finally, the Electoral College is yet another measure that thwarts majority rule. It makes sure that the highly populated states today, mainly 12 on the east and west coasts, cannot run roughshod, like I've been saying, over the rest of the nation. That forces a presidential candidate to take into consideration the wishes of the other 38 states. Geez, our founding fathers, they were absolutely freaking brilliant.
Amazing. They're very,
there you go, Bob.
Well, hey, Scott Zimmerman wants to know, should we trust you? I'm like, hell yeah, you can trust me.
Right.
Oh, let's see. Boy, I was going to say something. I wonder what the hell it was.
Oh, boy. Senior moment, folks.
Yeah. Oh, you know, here's the other thing as far as Electoral College. I know I went through this before, and I think that Illinois has 20. They had 22 electoral votes at one time, but I think we lost enough population. We get down to 20 now. Divide the electoral votes for the state by how the votes are cast. Say, for example, if you've got 2 major parties running, say Democrats and Republicans at this point, and the votes are split 60-40, then the electoral vote should be split 60-40 also, rather than a winner take all. because we see that in the state election when it comes to governors. Our governor won, 3 or 4 counties out of 102 counties and won the election.
That's all they ever win.
Yeah, all you got to do is win Chicago, you win the election. Chicago doesn't run the state of Illinois, regardless of what they think or what they say. There's people downstate here that are just as smart as you knotheads in Chicago. In fact, we're a lot smarter than a lot of people in Chicago because we can follow the Constitution.
Ooh.
And
really?
We'll work our ass off when it comes to time to. So
that's absolutely outstanding, Steve.
Yeah, that's what I do. Trust me, Scott.
Oh boy.
What else you got out there?
Well, we have a Chicago Iman. He says, while Muslim clerics in the United States typically insist they submit to the U.S. Constitution, an Illinois cleric chastised Islamic relief organizations for not stating that an Islamic caliphate is the ultimate objective for Muslims. Jeez, who didn't know that?
Yeah.
Omar Balak said many Islamic organizations are afraid of losing funding if they are too vocal about the establishment of the caliphate. We all have a higher goal that is bigger than us, and that is the establishment of the caliphate, he said in a video uploaded to his YouTube channel. Titled Constructive Criticism of Islamic Relief Organizations, according to the Middle East Media Research Institute. Jihad Watch director Robert Spencer commented that the Sunni Islamic theology, the caliphate, is the sole legitimate government to which Muslims owe loyalty. It is ruled by a caliph, the military, political, and spiritual successor of Muhammad, and implements Islamic law, which is considered the non-negotiable law of Allah. How loyal do you think Sheikh Omar Balak to the American system of non-establishment of religion and republic government system? Yeah, not loyal at all. But to question him about this would be Islamophobic.
Uh-oh.
So, what most of us understand that the Islamic Caliphate is about, this guy is putting out there and doesn't make any bones about it. And you got to give him credit for that. But and that's going to lead me to another post I got here from Judicial Watch, which I really care for. Nearly 2 decades after the Islamic terrorists exploited the United States government inept system for tracking visa overstays, check this out, more than 700,000 foreigners with expired visas remain at large in this country. The latest government figures show 702,000 overstays in 2017. Obviously, these are disturbing stats that come just weeks after the Portuguese man with an expired visa got charged with the gruesome kidnap and murder of a young woman whose body was found bound in a suitcase on a Connecticut street. At least 4 of the September 11th hijackers were in the United States with expired visas. All these years later, the government still hasn't found a way to track visa overstayers. Jeez, you're kidding me.
Yeah,
thousands,
no kidding.
Yeah, thousands are from terrorist nations like Pakistan, Iraq, Yemen, Libya, and Syria. The breakdown per DHS stats provided this is 4 years ago. 1,435 are from Pakistan, 681 from Iraq, 564 from Iran, 440 from Syria, 219 from Yemen, 219 from Afghanistan, and 56 from Libya. So
Wow.
we have all these visas
Expired.
You don't even know where these freaking people are.
So our system's broke.
Our system's FUBAR.
Yes, it is. But you know what we need to do? We need to have open borders so we can get more clowns in here.
Absolutely.
Wow, sure.
Nearly 20 years after 9/11, and we still don't know where freaking people are in this country.
That's pretty sad.
It is pretty sad.
Well, we need to do away with
Jeez,
ice and
I don't
stuff
think
like
they're
that.
here freaking going to lick lollipops and give people freaking ice cream cones. Okay? They might give them some C4 or an IED or something like that.
Bob Smith says because the overstayers vote Democrats.
Well, there's no doubt about it.
Hey, let's get to something else here.
Something else, Steve says.
This is really going to fire you up.
Oh, gosh.
This, what is her name? Hoda.
Hoda.
Wait a minute, it's in here somewhere.
Steve's
anyway.
missed it. Come on, get it, Steve. He's looking through his bifocals.
Hoda Muthana. She's the
Is that
gal.
like Hakuna Matata?
No.
Oh.
This gal was in Alabama, I think it was, and was 19 years old and got radicalized on the internet.
Oh,
in fact, she was
yeah.
tweeting about on national holidays to kill Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she went to Syria, I think it was. She went to Syria and married an ISIS terrorist.
What?
Actually, she married two of them because neither one of them are no longer with us.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Yeah, that's too bad. But now she wants to come back to the United States, and she'll suffer any consequences that the people seem necessary. And she's wanting her case expedited because her and her child are in danger in Syria.
Aw.
Well, you were in danger when you left the United States, dumbass.
Wonder if she got any insurance money out of those two guys. You get 16 goats for each man that died.
But you know what? She wants to come back to the United States, and our people are saying, well, first off, you're not really a U.S. citizen. You went to work denouncing.
You are a treasonous biatch.
There you go.
That's basically what you are.
You're a traitor, and if I recall correctly, that traitors are terminated. So yeah, come on back. We got a spare bullet. I mean, come on. Really, you're going to go over to Syria and promote terrorizing the United States people, our veterans, and now you want to come back here and hide behind our laws? Really? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, absolutely. That's what she wants to do.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I can't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was the Navy SEAL who took out Obama or somebody else. They were saying in one aspect, maybe we should bring her back. Maybe we could get some information out of her. Maybe if we waterboarded her. But, I don't know. I think she needs to stay her ass out of the country.
Well, you know what? She did this to herself. It's not like she didn't. She was 19 years old when she left. Okay, I understand she wasn't real sharp, obviously. But you know what? And now she thinks she's going to be able to come back here and say, well, I'll suffer the consequences in your laws. You bet you will if you get back here. And now you want your case expedited because you're in fear for you and your child's safety. Well, you put yourself there. Just because you feel you're in danger just because there's a tragedy on your end doesn't mean there's a tragedy on our end.
She married two ISIS people, so
two of them, yes.
You was in a little bit of danger there, sweetheart.
Yeah, and what about Sharia law? What do you think of Sharia law? Because Sharia law is going to have you just even talking about coming back here is probably not going to be very kind to you.
Maybe they should bring her back and make her permanent goat milker or something like that.
It's just ridiculous. And her dad wants to sue the United States government, and Mike Pompeo's like, yeah, you ain't getting expedited. And we don't even think you're a United States citizen because your parents were Yemeni diplomats at the time when you were born.
Probably one of the 700 and some thousand that they haven't checked their visas.
I don't know. But come on, really?
I'm sure you could probably go to a few colleges and find a few of these guys.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what else to say about this gal. I do, but I'm not going to put it on the air. So,
Dave Arn says she needs to go to Germany. I hear they'll take her in.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Didn't you have an article on?
Well, I had several articles about Germany and all the freaking trash they were letting in that was raping and pillaging over there. But I think they actually started stopping it finally. Let's hope.
Yeah, no kidding.
The ignorance.
No kidding.
So we got all these 700 some thousand overstayed visas here. See, that doesn't include things that are coming through our southern border that we have also had articles on coming from all of these nations that support Muslim terrorists.
Right. Which brings me back to something else you hit on earlier. The freshman, senator, the Muslim gal. She's trashing the Israelis and or Jewish people. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It wasn't radical Muslims that attacked us on 9/11.
Well, that's the last I knew.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember any radical Jews attacking us at any point in time. So if she wants to say things about Israelis or Jews, she might want to be careful because her religious background can be a bit radical, and I didn't see any articles on her denouncing radical Muslims.
No.
So,
nor does that to Senator Tlaib up in Michigan.
Yeah,
who wrapped herself in the Palestinian flag. Well,
there's a really good idea.
Oh, sure it is.
Well, why didn't she just go ahead and set it on fire while she's at it? Because that'd have been good for her.
Well, Larry Jameson says let her, if she agrees to give up all information she has on ISIS terrorism and agrees to get life in prison. That I don't know. That might be a thing if she's got some pertinent information out there, something to do. But Hello, Jack from Vandalia, Missouri.
Ah, there we go.
You devil, you. Hey, keep posting those videos on all those deer. It's pretty nice looking down there. Because I guarantee you, I'm not staying in this state much longer.
And you know what? Like Dave Holt said, that he's afraid this thing will be passed, these gun laws. If that happens, we had, 45,000 people leave the state of Illinois last year and 33,000 the year before that. I'm thinking if they pass these gun laws, you're going to see 100,000 pretty easy leaving the state of Illinois just because of this stupidity. And the taxes going along with it.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do, to get the law-abiding citizens out of here that don't vote the Democratic way, to make this a sanctuary state, which they're trying to do, and maybe they already have done, so that they can keep the Democratic power for all time.
Pretty sad.
It is
real
pretty sad. Hey, Chicago,
Yeah.
you suck.
Yeah,
House
they do.
Resolution 101, making Chicago the 51st state. I wish you would pass. I don't think you will, but I definitely wish you would pass.
It would be a shame, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Bob Smith says, I'll be gone.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
I just don't see any way around it. I mean, you don't want to follow the Constitution? Good, don't take my tax money because you're already taxing me too heavily now. And you're getting back to a nickel per bag that you get at Walmart for your groceries or whatever products you may buy. A nickel per sack, really? Really? Are you kidding me?
I think we should have plastic bag police like they got plastic straw police out in D.C.
And pay them, $60,000, $70,000 a year because, that's what we do.
Yeah. I still think we need to go to California for a while and be pooper scoopers for $185,000 a year.
No, I'm not doing it. Not.
Then we can
gonna
get
do
hooked on heroin in the process. Inject ourselves with dirty needles.
Not doing that either.
Okay.
That's just me. We're just about out of time. I've got this article here I seen on last night's news. Nova Meat. Did you hear about this?
Oh, I can't wait to taste some of this stuff.
Yeah, get this. A bioengineering startup that makes plant-based food is now using 3D printers to make vegan steak. Nova Meat founder and CEO tells New York media about WLNY that a 3D printer uses edible ink made with ingredients such as rice, peas, and seaweed to print the steak. Then it's cooked and served just like any other steak. I'll just bet it is. The steaks are not yet available to buy, but he says his company will move forward with plans to create 3D printing tuna steaks and chicken in addition to the steaks. That is just awesome.
Like a SpongeBob cartoon here.
No kidding. No kidding. A 3D printer is going to print you a ribeye steak.
Hey, it's Soylent Green, people. Soylent Green. Don't trust it.
Oh, boy. Wow. Oh.
I'm out of articles, but you seem to have
there's things
a week and a half left over there. So
some of this left from last week. But as you know, Illinois gun manufacturer, what's their name? Lewis Machine and Tool will be moving to Eldred, Iowa, to have a contract of 15,000 firearms for countries of Estonia. LMT set to open in Iowa in April. Already provides firearms to 45 other European countries. The Illinois State Rifle Association pointed to Illinois General Assembly's anti-gun initiative as a key reason that LMT is headed northwest. What?
This Bob Smith character said he was thinking about going to look at a house in Missouri and taking high-speed rail to get there.
Oh, boy.
What a character that guy is.
Yeah, one of my favorite topics. So anyway, we got one gun manufacturer leaving Illinois going to Iowa due to stupid gun laws and taxes. And then you have, and we've talked about this before, Remington is in New York, and their plant's going to move to Alabama and will invest $87 million right off the bat because New York has high taxes and stupid anti-gun laws also. So, these people...
Well, are we looking at... some more secession of states one of these days?
It very well could be. It very well could be. But I don't know. It's crazy. How we got to this point is beyond me.
You can fool all the people all the time, one at a time, bud. That's how they're doing it.
Well, when you start offering a whole bunch of free stuff in order for your vote, then you can pretty much do what you want. And I got a bunch of articles on this stuff we'll hit next week as far as Kamala Harris and
Kamala?
and Pamela Jayapal and Elizabeth Warren with their tax the rich for free child credit and Medicare for all, according to Harris and Jayapal. And I've also got a video here on Kamala Harris. They look on our Facebook page. There's about a 19-minute video on there. Kamala Harris is talking to some outfit, I think it's called The Root. And about 16 minutes into this thing, she starts talking about decriminalizing sex workers. And after that, she goes into reparations for slavery. So, that's the kind of people we got running for president, really.
I say we just let the North American Man-Boy Love Association just run roughshod on everything.
Maybe not.
Kidding, of course.
Absolutely.
If they're going to start doing this, they're going to continue with the stupidity. And these freaks, of course, they never did answer my email that I sent them one time. I'm sure you can imagine why. But, the moral fabric of this society continues to be freaking destroyed. And once that happens, the gloves are off.
Yep. Yeah. Bob Smith says, convince everyone that they're victims and inform them to offer them to be their savior. So, the government's going to come save you because they do so many things right?
Yeah, they do.
Scott says we're going to have to make our show a little bit longer. Anyway, we're about out of time here. We are out of time. Remember the iGold thing, March 27th, Springfield, Illinois. Get out there, make your voices heard, call your politicians. Be respectful when you do it because they will hang up on you, and I don't blame them. But you will not get anywhere if you start screaming and cussing at them and stuff like that and telling them they're morons and stuff. That's not going to work. But anyway, go to Springfield, make your voice heard. These people work for you, not vice versa.
That's the way it's supposed to be anyway.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this evening and all the comments and everything. Greatly appreciated. The phone calls and everything. Pretty awesome. Makes the show go much better.
What's your beef, Bob? That's got to be a weekly show. Bob, you got to call in. You got 5 minutes.
Holder says, I pray for my brothers in Illinois. Thank you, because we're going to need it. So, I bet Jack Hamilton says all of Illinois neighboring states are loving the new governor. I'll bet they are. I'll bet they are. Well, I guess we're ready to wrap things up.
All right. Where are you buying supper at?
What? You're breaking up. I'm not hearing you. Hey, remember, if you love your country, you love your freedom, thank a veteran.
Damn straight.
Thanks for turning on and tuning in.
God bless America.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.